And so in this video, I'm gonna show you the #1 absolute hands down best way to find e-commerce leads and e-commerce clients in 2021. Now guys, as always, just before we jump into the video, make sure you go ahead, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hugely helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And I promise you that if you watch this video through to the end, it's going to be worth it, because I'm gonna give you the exact step-by-step process to finding highly qualified leads and really just eliminate that issue that I know you're facing right now inside of your e-com agency in terms of how you can find those leads at scale. So really that's the biggest issue that people have, right? Because when it comes to outreach, the idea is to be efficient and effective, right? There's no point being very, very efficient, meaning you're getting a lot of leads in a short amount of time. There's no point doing that if those leads aren't qualified and they don't actually turn into clients, you know? And then those clients turn into amazing case studies, which you can use to get more clients, right? There's no point being efficient if, you know, as I say, the quality isn't there. But then also there's no point being effective, right? Effective kind of stems from the idea of reaching out to qualified brands. There's no point being effective if you're only sending, you know, one email a week to one qualified brand, right? You need that balance between efficiency and effectiveness. Once you get that balance, once you align the stars between efficiency and effectiveness, it's game over at that point. Now, most of the time, well, actually, I would probably say it's 50-50 to be honest, but obviously I've got a lot of other videos on the channel where I detail outreach and the email behind it and how to, you know, structure email in the best possible way and all that type of stuff. So getting that side down packed is pretty easy and it's very, very doable. And also it helps to, you know, in order to get that side down packed in a very, very efficient way and an effective way is by actually reaching out to brands and actually, you know, seeing real life data, seeing what real life e-com founders are saying to your emails. And then from there, you can obviously iterate those emails and then go back to market. And then it's obviously going to be more effective that second time round, the third time round, fourth time round. Whereas in this video, I want to show you how to find those leads, right? Because that is one of the biggest issues people have. They just cannot find leads, and if they do, they're not qualified leads. They're not leads that you'd actually bring on as a client, because you know you probably won't be able to get them any good results or anything like that. And also the other issue is sub niches and whatnot, and I'm going to do a separate video on sub niches very, very soon. However, I will kind of touch on sub niches a little bit in this video, but I'll go more in depth for sub niches in a separate video. But in this video, I want to go through lead sourcing. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Now, before I tell you the methods that we're going to use to lead source, please just stick with me and watch the video through to the end, because it's going to make sense. You're probably going to think, as soon as I say the initial method we're going to use, you're probably instantly going to think, oh, I've seen this, it doesn't work, I've tried it, it doesn't work. And then you'll click away. But trust me, just watch through to the end. If there's one thing that you listen to me on, it's this. Just watch this video through till the end, because I'm going to show you how it all ties together and how we don't just do one medium. So I'll kind of do the big reveal, right? It's on Instagram. But before you click away, most people just use Instagram and they just have a look at one way on Instagram, whereas what we're going to do is we're going to pair a bunch of different stuff. So we're going to start off on my phone, okay? And then we're going to take what we find on the phone, we're going to take it to the computer, because then that's going to enable us to find even more. But what we're going to do, you're going to go into Instagram, you're going to go into the explore page, and then you're going to go at the top there where it says, you see at the top right here, where it says IGTV, shop, travel, architecture, whatever, right? You see there's a bunch of different like industries and whatnot, but the one that we want to have a look at is shop. Now, again, we're not just gonna look at this shop section here, right? You can obviously see where my interests lie, as you can tell. It is full of watches, a couple cars, right? You can kind of tell where my interests lie. Everywhere you look, actually, is a watch. Anyway, you can see that my shop section is just full of what my interests are, what the you know, the images that I like and accounts that I follow and whatnot. So that's okay. But I mean, we're never gonna, the diamond watch box, you know, we're not gonna get a client like this. And to be honest, an e-commerce client like this is probably not going to be the most effective client, right? Time for diamonds, right? It's a huge brand, global watch shop. It's a huge brand. They sell Rolexes, they sell Pateks, they sell this and that, you know, and it's just probably not going to be the best brand to get ridiculous results for. And so this isn't what we're going to use. What you can do, first things first, what you can do is on your shop, you'll see these sections here where it's got like this kind of ad. And usually these are more, these are brands that are more tailored to a client kind of avatar that we're looking for. So that could be a good way to find a couple different, brands. You can see this brand doesn't look too bad. We'll have a look into it here. I mean, it's only got 7,000 followers. Content doesn't look too bad at all. Actually, I quite like that. But you know, we're quite limited, right? You're not gonna find 1,000 leads off of just that one, off of that one little brand there. So, I mean, this one doesn't look too bad. Anyway, my point is, that's not what we're using. What we're going to use is at the top here. And now this is where I was talking about before with sub niches kind of coming into play with this inside of this video, right? So you've got a couple different things here. You've got browse shop. So this is like shops you follow. So these are all the brands that I follow, right? And then we've got, you know, see editors picks. We've got shop collections as well. So this is like, you know, again, it kind of ties in with what you follow and you know, where your interests lie. And you've got a couple of different things here like explore guides and whatnot. But we're not going to use any of those, right? You can have a look at those, but it's not going to give you exactly what you want. What we're going to use is this bit here where it says see editors picks. Now this is honestly going to change the game, and this is why I say in 2021 this is the best hands down method to use in conjunction with what I'm about to go through here in a minute. Okay, so we're going to use this to start off though. So you can see we've got sub niches right here, literally compiled for us. At the top, we've got men's streetwear, winter's must, right? Slippers, the relaxation edit, the pantry edit, you know, pick of the week, this throwback cap, right? There's so many different sub niches here, grooming essentials, streetwear select, and bear in mind, this is all stuff that's genuinely, it's in trend right now. And that's something else that's super important. And again, I'm gonna go through that in the sub niche video that's gonna come out very soon, but you want to bring clients on board that are in trend, right? If you bring on, for example, a fidget spinner client right now, like it's so out of trend that you just, no matter how good the brand is, no matter how good the product is, it's not gonna work because it's so out of trend. Nobody cares about, for example, fidget spinners, right? So you get the point. You wanna bring clients on that are in trend, their industries are booming, because if you bring a client on board inside of an industry that is naturally booming, then if that client in that industry is qualified and they have a very good product market fit, obviously because the industry is booming, but you know, they've got a good sales process that converts, then you running ads for that brand is gonna be so easy. It's gonna be, you just literally need to put a couple ads up and you'll probably get amazing results, right? And it's because you bring clients on board inside of an industry that's actually booming. So that's one thing that I wanna mention is that this section here, it's the editor's picks. An editor isn't gonna be, you know, going through, people aren't gonna be picking, people aren't gonna be collating brands and industries that are way out of date, right? So that's one way to ensure that it's gonna be a good brand in an industry that's actually, you know, doing well. You can see another one here, right? Skin fix, right? Glowy fires, home office upgrades, the green thumb edit, right? I seen another one here. This one here, feel good beauty roundup, okay? Such good sub niches, right? And so the next thing, right? And look, the home gym edit, right? Look, the home gym edit, right? That could have worked really well during what just happened. Okay, so there's so many. Ready, set, meditate. There's so many. And so the beautiful thing of this is that this is just a bird's eye level view of the sub niches, right? That's basically what it is, the sub niches. So let's choose one. Let's have a look at this section here, right? Feel good beauty roundup. This is going to be health. Health is an industry that's doing really well right now. So we'll go into this one. So you can see there's just so many different brands. So you can click on one, go onto their Instagram. Okay. So you go into here, look. Perfect example, literally a perfect example. 12.1 thousand followers, really good size following. We'll go into have a look at their, you know, their imagery and whatnot. You can tell that their images, their creatives are very good, very high level. They've got a really nice theme. So there's one brand, right? And then we'll have a look at another one. This is another one. Okay, this one's obviously slightly smaller, but again, you can still see that they've got amazing products. I mean, look at the product itself. Look at the imagery. Look at the creatives, right? Look at that. Amazing creatives for ads. Just very clean, very aesthetically pleasing, right? So that's another one. And we'll have a look at one more and then I'll show you what to do once you've got perfect. So once now you've got a perfect brand, right? We just found a couple. This is another one, right? 31.1 thousand followers. Again, super good creatives and whatnot, super good theme, all that type of stuff. Very good imagery. So bear in mind, this is just, you know, the first 3 brands that have popped up inside of just that beauty or health. Yeah, the feel good beauty roundup, right? This is just the first couple brands inside of this. You've got all of these different brands just inside of this one sub niche. And then on top of that, you've got all of these different ones here, right? All of this, all of that, right? And it just keeps going. And then you've got obviously all those brands inside of each and every one of those. So it's gonna be very hard to run out of brands. Now, on top of all of that, what I wanna show you, this next section is what's gonna enable you to get thousands upon thousands upon thousands of very, very qualified leads. This next section, right? So these can all start off your searching process, and you're never gonna run out, right? There's so many brands here, you're never gonna run out when it comes to searching. But I wanna go back in and I wanna pull up this one because I didn't mind this brand, to be honest. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull them up on our computer. So now what I've done is I basically put it up on my computer, and what you can see is I found it on Instagram originally, right? And then now I've pulled it onto my computer. So now we can have a look at the brand itself. Now I do believe I just did a little bit of research and I seen that this is the AU. So this is the Australian version. The one that we just found on Instagram was the US version, and I just did see a UK version as well, I think. So this is quite a big brand. So it may not be the most qualified, but you get the point. You can use this to find any type of brand. So you can see here, first of all, website looks amazing, right? This is a perfect website. Got everything we need, got all the FAQs. There's no questions that we're left with in order to buy or anything like that. Everything's covered. Super good website. So what we'd now do is we'd come onto the Facebook page, and you just want to see what their ad section looks like, because obviously I'm not going to go into specific qualification points and whatnot. That's stuff that we're covering the Quantum Leap Ecom Agency program. However, what is important is just to see roughly how many ads they are running. If they're running 1,000 ads, then obviously they're not going to be a good fit because they've already got a very, very solid strategy down packed. Now you do always have the idea that, you know, even though that they are running 1,000 ads, maybe they're not doing well, or maybe they're, you know, running 500 ads, they may still be losing money. I see that happen all the time. But as a rule of thumb, for the most part, they're going to have a solid strategy down packed, and they're not going to be that interested in what you have to offer. So if we go now, Australia and New Zealand, we'll go all, so you can see, perfect example, right? They're running one ad for their Australia branch, right? They're running one ad, and look at the ad itself. Okay, look at the ad itself. Get all your beauty favorites delivered straight to your door with free express shipping on orders over $50. I take it this is a retargeting ad, so I understand that it can be a lot more, you know, it can be a lot more kind of straight to the point, pointing. It doesn't need to do as much selling, but it's still, in my eyes, it's not a good ad, right? I don't want to throw a shade on the brand, but it's not a good ad. You know, they could have so many more ads. I know they're a big brand, so the audience is most definitely going to permit. And something else that's super important to notice is that this launched in January 2021. So, you know, they're kind of onto it, but they're not doing the job that they should. So this shows you that they are interested in trying to pursue marketing, paid traffic and whatnot, but obviously they just don't have the necessary resources, whether that be time or knowledge, doesn't matter. Either way, there's an opening there for you and your agencies to come into play. So I would say this is a very, very good brand. Now, what you can now do, right? Now that we found this brand, is you can come onto their Instagram, and you can see what I was talking about before with the AU and the US, right? The US had 31,000, I think. Australia's got 13.7, so they are a bigger brand, but you get the point, right? They've got okay engagement, it's not too bad, but either way, this is a good brand. So now what we've just done, right? Let's just kind of recap on what we've just done and what we've just found here. What we've just done is we've gone from nothing, having no idea about any brand, or going from nothing, right? Zero. And we found a brand inside of what I've been explaining, right? But I don't know, I can't see how long the video's been going, but it's been what, 10-15 minutes, right? And that's with me explaining. So if you was to do this in a pure focus work block, right? You've got your, you know, you've got myself, I like to listen to cigar jazz music when I'm working. So, you know, you've got your music in whatever it is, and your pure focus, right? You've got a coffee, your pure focus. You would have been able to do this process in, I would say, 3 minutes. 4 minutes max, and you've just found a qualified brand to reach out to, right? But what also you found is a brand that can now provide you with a plethora of more brands, right? So yes, you've just found this brand and you put this into your CRM and you'd or into your lead list, whatever it is, and done. You found that first brand, but now this provides you with a whole heap more of brands that are similar to this brand. Now remember, this is a bigger brand, so you are gonna have bigger brands that are similar, right? Because this is suggested, this is similar accounts to this account. So as I say, it is a bigger brand, but for a brand that would actually be qualified in terms of size and whatnot, then it's going to provide you with more similar brands of similar size and similar style and all that type of stuff, right? So we've just found this one brand, and already, right? And again, there's so many more here, right? You can go on here, see all, and these are all the brands that are similar to this one account. Look how many that is, right? So then you open up each subsequent one, right? This one, perfect brand, 30.5 thousand. So again, you'd open up their website, you'd have a look, right? great engagement, right? 100 plus likes, very good engagement, good creatives and whatnot, right? This one, 13.6, another great brand, really, really good creatives. I absolutely love this creative here. If that's the product, I don't know what the product is, but you get the point, right? Amazing creatives. This one, 19,000, right? This is obviously some sort of nail brand. This one, 104,000, slightly bigger, but to be honest, it's 104,000 is perfectly fine. And again, amazing creatives. Obviously, I take it this is a jewelry brand, right? 33.2K. This is a fashion brand, women's fashion brand. I'm not a fan of these guys' creatives. I really actually don't quite like them, but you get the point, right? We've just found another 5 brands without even opening up all of these that are available for us to open up. However, we have in the first 5, I think literally out of the first 10 brands that we've shown, obviously I didn't open up the verified ones because I assume these ones are going to be much bigger, but we can have a look, right? 490,000, so yeah, it is much bigger, right? As you can kind of tell, 638,000, right? So it is bigger, but you get the point. We just found 5 more brands based off of one brand. Now remember, that one brand was just one of the options that we found in that beauty, remember on the iPhone, when we were originally doing the lead sourcing, in that beauty a subsection, we opened that up, and this was just one of the, I don't know how many brands was in there, right? There's probably around 30 brands inside of that one subsection, and then how many of those subsections were there? There was loads. It just kept going and going and going in the editor's picks, right? And then from that one brand, so inside of that one subsection, there was this one brand that we found, and then from that one brand, we've just found 5 more. We'd probably be able to find, out of all of these, we'd probably be able to find at least another 10 qualified brands, at least another 10 qualified brands, right? So then what we would do is we'd find all those 10 qualified brands. So there's 11, right? Based off of one brand, we found 11 qualified brands. We'd put those into, for example, you'd probably be able to find more, to be honest, 15, 20, right? But there's 11 qualified brands. So then we'd put those into our CRM. So now what we would do is we come back onto editor's picks, right? Come back onto the editor's picks. And remember, this is what I was saying before, right? Look how many subsections, kind of niches there are for you to go into, right? If you just go into a random one of these, there's all of these brands now that are very, very similar to that, right? All of these brands. So now what you would do is to be honest, what I would do is I'd go back into the same one that we was in, so back into this one, and you just tap out all of these brands. You just max out all of these brands. So we only did this brand right here, right? This brand right here, this was the only one that we did. But what I would do is I would just go through this one and see if this looks pretty good, right? It's 370K, it's a bit big. I probably wouldn't do that one, but you just go through and have a look, right? 12.1, perfect. Creatives look great. So now you can start that same process for this brand and go through, and you probably find another 10 qualified leads from this second brand, right? Then you go back and you go through this brand, right? Let's have a look at this one, 3,400. It's a little bit small. I'm not a fan of that. And bear in mind, this is rule of thumbs, right? Like, even though that brand there that we just pulled up, it only had 3,500 followers, and I said it's a little bit too small. Most of the time, brands who have, below 10,000 followers are probably gonna be slightly too small for a brand. But you do have those other times where you do have million-dollar brands, multi-million-dollar brands with only 2,000 followers. There is always exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, right, we're going for the most part here. Again, 4,300, and also I didn't like their creatives. But yeah, you just go through, right? Let's have a look at this one. This one looks interesting. 116,000, perfect. Look at these guys' creatives, absolutely amazing. I love it. So now, again, you would start that process on this one, right? On this brand, and you'd find another 10, 20, 30 maybe qualified leads based off of this brand. So then once you've tapped out all of these brands, you've gone through every single one of these brands, then you go back, right? And you go to this one. And you go through and you do the same thing, right? Then you go back and you go to this one and you do the same thing. And you do that for every single one of them. And that is how you find a crazy amount of leads. You ensure that they're qualified. So then you've got both efficiency and effectiveness within your lead sourcing. And bear in mind, once you get a process down packed where you can find, 20, 30, 40, 50 qualified leads an hour, then you can just bring on a VA to basically find those exact same 20, 40, 50 qualified leads an hour. You pay them, $3 to $5 an hour, and they give you those 50 leads. So now you're paying $3 to $5 to get 50 leads, right? And if you've got, so obviously that would be $6 to $10 per 100 leads. And so then if you've got a outreach system, an outreach process in place where you've got an average of ideally a 3% meeting book rate, which is what you should be shooting for. Well, now you're paying, 2 to 4-ish, around that mark, $2 to $4 per meeting booked that you're generating. Like, If I could pay $2 to $4 per meeting book in advertising through paid traffic, you'd be a genius. You probably wouldn't be alive, right? Because you're not real. It's physically impossible to do that. But you can do that through outbound prospecting, through outreach. And this is how you do it. And this is the best way to go about finding e-commerce clients that are both qualified and doing so in a time that makes sense, in a period of time that makes sense, right? Yes, you could find a qualified lead in the space of 4 days, but now we're finding a qualified lead in the space of 4 minutes, right? Maybe not exactly 4 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, but you get the point. So I hope that made sense. I hope that now provides you and kind of arms you in terms of how you can go about getting these qualified leads at scale and ensuring that, as I say, they're qualified and they're actually a good client to work with because they've got good creatives, good products, they're in a good industry. That's something else that this method provides. It shows you that they are in a genuinely good industry that's actually booming, it's actually doing well, it's trending, so then it's going to be even easier to market. And yeah, overall, I hope you found value. If you did, as always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.